You are not as independent as you think, and neither am I. Most days, we do not choose what we want. We notice what other people seem to want, and our mind quietly edits our desire to match. It happens so fast it feels like our own idea. You have felt this. You scroll past something 100 times, then one day it has 1 million likes, and suddenly it looks sharper, safer, more worth your time. You are not broken for that. You are human, and your brain is built to use other people as a shortcut for truth. Social proof is that shortcut. It is the tendency to copy what looks popular or approved, especially when we are unsure. Uncertainty is the key word. When the situation is unclear, the brain wants to reduce risk. It looks around for signals, and the fastest signal is what everyone else is doing. It is not laziness, it is survival math. In the past, if the group ran, you ran. If the group avoided a food, you avoided it. The cost of being wrong alone was higher than the cost of being wrong together. The strange part is how physical it can feel. You can feel your attention tilt. Your eyes slow down on the post with the most comments. Your fingers hover longer over the product with the most reviews. Your chest relaxes when you see a long line outside a restaurant like the line itself is seasoning. That is social proof working through your nervous system, not just your thoughts. It gives you a sense of safety before you even know why. A lot of people think social proof is about weak-minded people. That belief is its own kind of protection fantasy. The truth is that social proof is strongest in smart people who are busy. When you have a lot to manage, you cannot deeply analyze every choice. Your brain uses heuristics, meaning mental shortcuts that save energy. Popular equals vetted. Popular equals less likely to embarrass me. Popular equals I will not have to defend this choice. It is a quiet form of self-protection. There is also normative influence, which means we copy others to be accepted. This is not about truth. It is about belonging. Your brain treats belonging like oxygen. That is why you can know something is mediocre and still feel pulled toward it if it seems socially rewarded. You are not chasing the object. You are chasing the social ease that comes with it, the absence of friction, the feeling that you will not stand out in the wrong way. Then there is informational influence, which means we copy others because we assume they know something we do not. This is the one that feels rational. If 1,000 people say a tool is useful, it probably is. If everyone in a new city walks a certain route at night, it probably is safer. The problem is that informational influence often gets triggered even when the crowd has no real expertise. A crowd can be confident and wrong. A crowd can be loud and empty. The brain still hears volume as evidence. Late at night, social proof gets stronger. When you are tired, your self-control is lower. Self-control is not a personality trait, it is a resource. When that resource is depleted, your mind leans harder on shortcuts. This is why the most persuasive platforms are built for nighttime. The glow of the screen, the soft isolation, the little numbers that tell you what matters. Views, likes, shares, saves. Those numbers are not neutral. They are social signals designed to steer attention. Attention is a currency, and social proof is a magnet. It does not just make you like something, it makes you look at it longer. And what you look at longer starts to feel important. This is the mere exposure effect, meaning the more you encounter something, the more familiar and acceptable it feels. Social proof increases exposure. Exposure increases liking. Liking increases sharing, and sharing increases social proof. It is a loop that can turn average ideas into idols. I notice it in myself when I shop. 2 items, similar price, similar function. One has 30 reviews, the other has 3,000. My body leans toward the 3,000 before my mind makes a case. I tell myself I am being logical. Sometimes I am. Other times I am buying the comfort of consensus. I am buying the feeling that if it disappoints me, at least I will not feel foolish alone. That fear of feeling foolish is a big driver. Humans are not just afraid of pain. We are afraid of social pain. embarrassment, rejection, being judged. Social proof offers a shield. If everyone is doing it, then doing it cannot be that bad. This is how trends spread, but it is also how bad habits spread. Overworking becomes normal because everyone is always busy. Constant phone checking becomes normal because everyone is always reachable. Drinking too much becomes normal because it is what the group does on weekends. The behavior gets wrapped in a blanket of normality, and normality is persuasive. A powerful piece of this is identity. Identity is the story you tell yourself about who you are. Social proof does not just suggest what to do, it suggests who you could be if you do it. When you see a certain lifestyle celebrated, your brain starts to map it onto your sense of self. This is why some social proof feels like a pull in the gut. It is not just a product, it is a possible version of you, one that seems admired. And when you start to move toward that version, cognitive dissonance kicks in. Cognitive dissonance means the discomfort you feel when your actions and beliefs do not match. If you buy what the crowd buys, you want to believe it was a good choice. You start to notice evidence that supports it. You ignore evidence that challenges it. That is confirmation bias, meaning you search for and remember information that agrees with what you already decided. Social proof can start the decision, and then your mind does the cleanup work to make it feel personal and true. This is where social proof becomes dangerous. Not because it exists, but because it hides. It disguises itself as your preference. You think you chose it, but you were nudged. And nudges add up. Your feed becomes a map of what other people approved. Your taste becomes a reflection of what got rewarded. Your goals start to look like the goals that get applause. I want you to notice something subtle. Social proof does not only tell you what is good, it tells you what is safe to say, what is safe to like, what is safe to admit you struggle with. You might have a private interest that feels alive and real, but it has no visible crowd around it. No likes, no public approval. So you keep it small. You tell yourself it is not important. That is social proof shaping your inner life, not just your outer behavior. There is also the bystander effect, which means people are less likely to act when others are present because responsibility feels spread out. Social proof can freeze you. If nobody is moving, you assume you should not move. If nobody is speaking up, you assume you should not speak up. Silence becomes proof that silence is correct. This is how groups can watch something wrong happen and do nothing. Not because they are evil, but because the brain reads the room and waits for permission. I have felt this in small moments. A meeting where a bad idea gains momentum because everyone nods. A group chat where someone gets mocked and nobody intervenes. A comment section where cruelty becomes entertainment because it gets engagement. Engagement is a form of social proof. It teaches people what gets attention, and attention trains behavior through operant conditioning, meaning behaviors that get rewarded tend to repeat. If outrage gets rewarded, outrage grows. If calm honesty gets ignored, calm honesty shrinks. So what do we do with this in real life when we are tired and busy and just trying to get through the week? First, I do not try to eliminate social proof. That is not realistic. I try to make it visible. Visibility creates choice. When I feel pulled by popularity, I pause and label it. Affect labeling means naming what you feel, and it reduces emotional intensity. I might think I am feeling reassured by consensus. I am feeling afraid of choosing wrong alone. I am feeling pulled by the idea that this will make me look competent. The moment I name it, the spell weakens. Not because I become superior, but because I become awake. Then I ask a quiet question that changes everything. If nobody knew I chose this, would I still want it? This question separates preference from performance. Performance is when you are doing something to be seen a certain way. Preference is when you are doing it because it fits your life. The answer is not always pure. Sometimes you want both. That is fine. The point is to know which part is driving. Another question helps when I am overwhelmed. What problem am I trying to solve with this choice? Social proof often sells solutions to vague discomfort, loneliness, boredom, feeling behind, feeling uninteresting. If you can name the discomfort, you can choose a better tool. Sometimes the thing you are about to buy is not a solution, it is a sedative. I also pay attention to the difference between popularity and expertise. A million views can mean a million people were entertained, not a million people were helped. When I want truth, I look for signals of competence, not just signals of approval. I look for consistency over time. I look for people who admit uncertainty. I look for results that are measured, not just performed. And I protect my attention like it is a doorway to my identity, because it is. What you repeatedly attend to becomes part of your mental environment. Your environment shapes your habits. Habits shape your outcomes. Outcomes shape your self-story. Social proof is constantly trying to decorate the room of your mind. If you do not choose the decorations, the crowd will. There is a practical way to use social proof without being used by it. Choose your crowd on purpose. This is not about cutting everyone off. It is about curating whose behavior counts as evidence. If you want to be healthier, let healthy people be your proof. If you want to be calmer, let calm people be your proof. If you want to build something meaningful, let builders be your proof. Your brain will imitate something. Give it something worth imitating. Because here is the deepest truth under all of this. Social proof is not just pressure. It is also a longing.